Hey everyone, Rocky here again. Here with kind of how my draft is shaping up with 1 week to go. So probably some of the biggest news, if you haven't heard over the last week, is that Jesus is injured and Cuckoo is injured. Darwin missed a game. Alright, that checks up the template a little bit. How is the template looking? If you guys don't know, you can just click on transfers and go sort by team selected, and you kind of see what the template is. So Ariola and Unana are most popular goalkeepers. For this particular reason, I've not gone with Ariola because, as lots of other people will tell you, they're just gonna have probably a price drop when people realize that he's not actually playing. It's not a big deal, but anyway, it's just annoying when you get to your wild card and he's like maybe 3.8 and you lose that point 2 without any reason. Stupinan, Trippier, sure, okay. Top three defenders, cool. I've got none of them. Uh, Saka, Rashford, Mitoma, cool. I've got three of those. Haaland used to be Jesus, but if anyone pays attention, they will probably move him off because he might be injured for a couple of weeks. And Cuckoo, same story. And then Watkins after that. I've gone for those two. Um, Yes, how is the draft looking? And why? So I guess starting in defense, the reason I've gone Pickford is mainly on fixtures. So we got a season ticker here, look at maybe the first 8 game weeks, sort by defense, and Everton's pretty decent, and it gets better if you go for just like 6 game weeks. Everton's here, that's not bad, honestly. I think you could go with a bunch of 4.5 goalkeepers. I think Crystal Palace, Johnston is defendable. Everton is defendable. I think the Aston Villa goalkeeper is a little bit more expensive, if memory suits. So yeah, Martinez at 5, so you have to pay that extra point 5 more to get that. So yeah, Brentford is as a whole steal situation happening with Brentford. So sorry, Raya situation. So Flecken will be probably the goalkeeper there, and this could just as easily be Flecken. That's fine. I think you could easily go that way, and if you're following the ticker, yeah, definitely not Bournemouth, but Villa, Brentford, Brighton keeper, Crystal Palace keeper, Everton keeper, they're all 4.5. I think it's completely defendable to go any of those. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a small reason maybe not to go Brentford, which could be that, especially if you like putting two of them in, that only leaves you one Brentford slot for attack, which is probably fine as well. So it's also fine. In defense, basically my defense is to do with the ticker. So Arsenal's got up top in defense. That's enough for me. And Man City, okay, they're sort of lower in the ticker, but I mean they're just the best defensive team. There's just no question about it. The best attacking team. They are the best team. So unfortunately, it's a bit hard to say as an Arsenal fan, but yeah. Man City to win the league again this year is going to be the bookies' favorite. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys the defensive stats. XG conceded, Man City, Newcastle, Arsenal, Crystal Palace, interestingly. So again, maybe that's the reason we go Johnston over Brentford here. Like it's again completely justifiable there, I think. And honestly, that's who I actually had at the start. Like I've had for a long time. I was looking at Crystal Palace. I don't think I need two attackers from Crystal Palace, so yeah, like having the goalkeeper and backup combo from Crystal Palace is fine. At best, I think I'm gonna go Eze. At some point in the season, I might go Eze. Totally fine. So I think Johnston is completely fine. And then yeah, Man City, Newcastle, Arsenal, they were just the best defenses last year. So Totally fine. Like that's pretty much what I'm going here. Newcastle, Arsenal, Man City, and before I had to kind of slot Watkins in. I had Nkuku in this slot, so I had like a second City defender, so Diaz in that place. Because you just never know. You pay the Pep roulette, and you will lose every time. Stones might miss 1 to 2 games in the first eight. That's definitely possible. But I'm not picking a 4.5 defender. I'm just going with the two 4.0s. I think it's okay. Um, and then, like I've said in previous videos, this is where I've invested. I think the midfield is the way to go, especially with those two injuries, and Darwin being on the bench. Then it really cuts our forward slots down. And if you look at any of the stats in the last couple of years, the number of goals and points scored by forwards has been trending down anyway. So I think that's where you want to invest. Based on what attackers. So if you kind of sort by attack, I think you're looking at that for a shorter period of time because we might wildcard by game six, and attacking is where I want to spend my transfers. So I'm happy to pick attackers for a shorter period of time, get on and get off them. Again, Arsenal at the top of the ticker, Aston Villa, so Watkins is good. Bournemouth, I'm not going to care too much about. Brentford, Muembo is popular. Wisa is another option in Brentford. Again, with these sort of magic bean type things, they might fire, they might not. You don't know. So I'd rather wait and see. I'd rather sort of go with people who I'm confident in. My only risk here is really Jota, Jota, and the reason that I'm putting him in is just because I love him. I loved him at Wolves, love him at Liverpool. I think he's got brace and hat trick potential. Yes, he might not play all the minutes, especially with the new rule saying they're going to be applying the World Cup rule, so we're expected to see a lot more extra time. Yes, he's probably going to get subbed every game. He might get subbed on for a one pointer. I mean, that's just life, right? And that's fantasy league. So I think it's fine to start with someone like this. I'd rather start with Jota with the Bournemouth game in mind. So the second game week two is Liverpool at Bournemouth, and then they've got a little bit tougher run, and then a couple of pretty good games. Wolves away, West Ham at home. So yeah, I think if I'm not going Salah, which I've kind of toyed with Salah and Salah-less teams, I like the Salah-less just because it gives me something in defense. I think if you're going Salah and Haaland, you're choosing a 6.5. You don't know which one that's going to be good there. It could be Matoma, it could be March, it could be Muembo, it could be Eze. You just don't know which one will fire. I'd rather just not make that choice. I'd rather have a decent defense, and that means without Salah. And then for captain for game week two, I don't know if Jota has a good game. I might captain him. I think captaining man like Haaland at home to Newcastle is also completely fine, and that's probably what the majority will do in game week two. Uh, yeah, so that's the midfield. I like having the double up of Rashford and Fernandez. I think with the new Man United signing, Rashford's even better. So yeah, if you have a look at like Rashford's sort of heat map, it's really good, honestly. Uh, and he plays best when he plays on the wing. So having a striker at what are we doing? 2023. Having a striker now that Man United have a striker means that Rashford can go more on the wing. So, and I think that's his best position. Having that target man up top. Yeah, because when they play Rashford as a false nine, I just don't think he's as good. But yeah, Rashford is just great, right? Like, he was brilliant last year. A goal every 2 games is fantastic. Assist, okay, assist is not that great. That's fine, but good XGI, like decent XGI, right? Like half a goal or an assist every game. Pretty good, really. You have to go up to Salah to kind of get better than that. Salah, De Bruyne, who is going to cost you a lot more money. So I think having Rashford and Fernandez is really nice. Same with Saka and Martinelli. They were great last year. Um, uh, I think there is an argument for with the World Cup ruling, you could go with Odegaard because he's probably the most nailed on. Both Saka and Martinelli can get subbed, especially if the game goes to 100 minutes, 105 minutes, anything like that. I think for me, the main thing is cost. Like, I want Saka because he's great and he's on penalties. So it's really, for me, it's a question of Martinelli or Odegaard. Uh, and it's just that point five. I don't want to degrade my defense anymore to pick up the point five. I think Martinelli has the advantage in terms of goals. So they were both at point four goals. Okay, last year. An appearance. They both have the same XGI, and Martinelli's point five cheaper. So I do feel like, again, Martinelli's like a Jota-like player. He has more chance of bracing. You can kind of see the positions. Like I've noticed him when I actually uh, watch him play. He will actually like shoot from range quite a bit, and now he's got a great shot. There's no doubt about that. So yeah, I mean, if he, uh, he can definitely score a few goals, but I just think Martinelli, you can see his positioning. He'll run in, he'll make those runs. I've seen him a lot more in the box when I've watched the games. I just think he's going to have the advantage there. So that's what I'm going with, Martinelli, and yeah, these two. I think Watkins is great. I think I would have preferred Darwin or Nkuku, but yeah, since they're both either injured or Darwin, we're really not sure of his minutes if he's not even getting preseason games. Like him, Gapco, Jota will probably be rotated quite a bit. So yeah, that's basically where I'm sitting at the moment. So it might change a little bit next week, but I think I'm pretty set on this now. So thanks. Bye.